On today's menu is this crisp apple tart using Honeycrisp and green delicious apples straight off of our very own apple trees, which I'm very stoked for. Since the apples varied in color, the tart took on a really cool ombre color pattern. For the filling, we went with a classic French vanilla pastry cream, a sable tart shell to hold it all together, and some chantilly cream to finish. Just a really great all-around tart to kick off apple season, and the best part is Rachel, my better half, will be assisting me with the recipe, so let's get into it. First up on the prep list is the Sable tart dough. In a large bowl, cream together the butter and powdered sugar until light and creamy. After that, you're going to add in the whole egg and whisk for a minute or two. Then add in the fresh vanilla beans and the rest of the dry ingredients, which is all-purpose flour, cornstarch, and salt. Mix this all together with a wooden spoon until it becomes a uniform, thick, and creamy dough. When the dough is finished, you're going to transfer it to a sheet of parchment and cover with another sheet of parchment paper, and then you're going to place this in the fridge for 1 hour. While the dough is chilling in the fridge, it's a good time to make the pastry cream. So get a medium sauce pot on low to medium heat, then pour in the cream, the leftover vanilla bean pod, and half of the caster sugar. Let this come up to around 190 degrees Fahrenheit, then remove it from the heat. In a mixing bowl, you're going to whisk together the egg yolks, the rest of the caster sugar, and cornstarch until everything is dissolved. Once the cream has come up to temp, you're going to slowly ladle it into the egg yolks while whisking, and at about the third ladle, you can add in the tempered egg yolks into the remainder of the cream. Turn the heat on to medium and whisk until it starts to thicken. Just as soon as it starts to thicken, you're going to remove it from the stove, whisk for 30 seconds, then return the pot back to the heat and cook for 1 minute while vigorously whisking. Repeat this step until the mixture has significantly thickened and is moderately difficult to whisk. Then remove it from the heat and cover with a lid until it's cooled to around 120 degrees Fahrenheit. When the pastry cream has cooled down to a warm temp, slowly whisk in the butter 2 tablespoons at a time until fully incorporated. Then cover the pastry cream with a plastic cling film sheet that rests directly on the pastry cream to prevent a skin from forming as it chills in the fridge for about 2 hours. Now is about the time you can remove the dough from the fridge and begin to roll it out to about a 1/4 inch thick dough sheet depending on your comfortability. The thinner the better, so just keep that in mind. Place the rolled out dough over your tart mold and gently form it to the shape of the mold with gentle but firm presses along the edge lines. After all that, you're going to trim the excess dough off of the top. Then you're going to line it with tin foil filled with beans as a weight. Then you're going to bake the tart shell at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for around 30 minutes or until it's a solid golden brown color on the sides. Once the tart shell is finished baking in the oven, you're going to remove it and let it cool for a few minutes to allow the edges of the tart mold to pull away from the shell. Then allow it to cool until room temperature. While the tart was cooling down, my wife went out and picked the small harvest of Honeycrisp and green delicious apples from our year-old apple trees. It was only about 10 apples total, but they are extraordinary in flavor. And I know I should be biased, but the Honeycrisp are some of the best I've ever tasted. Also, as you can tell, we struggle with a fungus growth called sooty blotch and fly speck on the exterior of the apple, and this was due to a very wet early and midsummer. Fortunately, it's only a cosmetic issue that can be scrubbed off, but next cycle we have a few tricks up our sleeve to reduce the fungus growth. Once the apples are all washed up, it's time to pick a few that have a tapering color pattern from green to yellow, and then a pink to red combo. Slice around the core of the apple into thirds and then slice those as thinly and uniformly as you can. I actually would have liked to go a bit thinner for this, but there's always next time. Also, make sure to squeeze some lemon juice on your knife or directly onto the apple slices to prevent oxidation from occurring. Next up, you want to remove your pastry cream from the fridge. Whip it up for about 30 seconds with a whisk because it will have thickened quite a bit. Then you're going to place the pastry cream into a piping bag, create about a 1/2 inch opening on the tip of the bag, and begin to evenly pipe the pastry cream into the tart shell, just barely below the lip of the tart. Once the pastry cream is piped in, you're going to stagger or shingle the apple slices from a deep green color through the splotchy yellows and finally into the darker pinks and reds. Traditionally, you brush the top of the tart with nappage or a pectin-based clear glaze, but since I didn't have any pectin on hand at the time, I just made a really thick, simple syrup to glaze the edges and create that classic sheen. Top with some chantilly cream and a slight dusting of cinnamon, and this crisp apple tart is ready to be sliced and served right then and there. That pastry cream is ridiculous.
It's good. Yummy.
It has that like brown butter, caramelized, super crumbly. I think
very good.
Is really good.
Oh yeah.
I recommend you guys try this out. There's lots of different ways you could prepare this with strawberries, nectarines, peaches, whatever's in season. Obviously we had some apples on the tree, so took advantage of that and came up with a pretty good tart. So if you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, comment down below, and drop a comment if you guys want to see more videos like this. And I'll see you guys next time with another recipe. Later, folks.
Good. Very good.
Man, that pastry cream is crazy.
It really is good.